Nice.
Get some content out there for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, things have been crazy for us. We just let our acquisition manager go.
Oh no.
Yeah. So if we were talking a couple of weeks back, and you're like, dude, why don't you just get back in the seat? So that's what I'm doing. But,
how's that going?
It's good. So it was a tough fire. So he wasn't hitting his KPIs for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
He got 1 contract, 0 contracts, 1 contract. He's supposed to be getting 2 very easily with the volume we're doing.
Yeah.
And he hit 3 contracts last week. So it was horrible timing. So we planned to let him go this week, which was last week. So on Friday, we get on a call and we put him on a performance plan, and it went south. Like, it went horrible. He took offense to it. He told us he needs to think about it. And
think about the performance plan.
Yeah. And so we let him go instantly. And then so far this week, I'm at 5 contracts. So I think we made the right decision. So
yeah,
like, same leads and all that. So
that's awesome, man.
But I guess we'll just get into it. So for those that don't know you, love to hear your background. How long have you been investing for? Been in the space? Love to hear, like, how did it first start?
Yeah. Do you want to start with intros, or you just want to hop to it?
Whatever you want. We can just hop to it. You can give an intro. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So my name is Patrick Otis. I've been in the land space for almost 6 years. Coming up on here in January of 2020 was when I first started kind of looking into land, and sent my first mailer in like end of March, and got my first deal in like April. So I've been in the land space for almost 6 years. Before that, I had developed a duplex on a couple acres that I bought on seller finance. My family's background is real estate, so my dad was a pretty prolific. I mean, they've got storage and multifamily and stuff like that, commercial stuff. So I was around it quite a bit growing up. And yeah, it's the land business has been an interesting journey. It's how I really started making money and like being self-employed. Tried different things kind of over the years, but it was very much like the first thing that was where like you're not trading dollars for hours, and you can really leverage a skill set. So that was cool. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. The market's shifted a lot, and my priorities have definitely shifted, and so it's been good. It's been interesting, and I don't know where it's gonna go from here, but I kind of have my theories, but yeah.
Well, I'd like to dive into that in a second. But before that, when you first got into it, was everyone just doing mail? I feel like that was kind of when I got into it. I feel like mail was huge, but people were doing texting, people were doing everything.
Yeah, mail was definitely primary. Like, everybody taught mail, and when I started, I actually did, like, my first campaign, I did blind offers in Hawaii. Actually, I just picked a subdivision that I knew a little bit about in Hawaii. The lots were worth like, $20,000, and I just sent out offers for like $3,500 or something.
Wow.
And it was actually the area that the year prior, like, the lava flow had gone through. So like
really?
half the neighborhood was covered in lava.
Oh my gosh.
And then the rest of it, let me move my microphone so it's the rest of the neighborhood was fine, but I got a bunch of calls from people who are like, "You realize my lot's under lava?" And I was like,
"Oh,
no idea."
That's crazy.
Because the satellite imagery hadn't even caught up. Like, you looked on the satellite and it looked fine, but they're like, "Yeah, you can't even get to my property. Like, I'll sell it to you for that." But I mean, people were at least nice enough to tell me that.
Wow, that's wild. Did you end up getting a deal in Hawaii?
Yeah, I had a lady who actually owned 2 lots in that neighborhood, and I got a deal. It was like 500 blind offers, and I got a deal from this lady, and she was like, I have 2 lots that I'll sell for 3,800. I thought she meant for both of them. I think I'd offered 1,900 actually. I think I offered like 10 cents on the dollar or something, like back then you could get away with that. And she was like, well, I've got 2 lots, I'll sell them to you for 3,800. I was like, great. But then we found out kind of at the closing table she wanted 3,800 each. And so I ended up buying the one from her. The other one, I talked to the neighbor thinking like maybe the neighbor would want it, and they were telling me that there's like a sinkhole on it, and I just kind of got cold feet, and so I pulled out on that one and bought the one. And then I sold it on owner financing. I actually sold it on a lease purchase. And so it's kind of like, I mean, if you went to court, they'd probably call it an installment sale, but yeah, I sold it on a lease purchase, and I sold it for $1,000 down. I think I sold it for like 25 grand, $1,000 down, and like $300 a month. And the guy, I learned a couple things there. Is like he didn't put, I mean, that was like what? So he put less than 5% down and put it on a credit card, and then like made 2 payments, I think, also with the credit card, and then just disappeared,
Oh man.
And I reached out to him. I was like, man, I'll give you your money back, like, whatever. And he just kept ghosting me. So then eventually I sent him a letter stating that he was in default and that his lease was canceled, and resold it to another guy for cash for like 17 grand, I think. So,
wow. Interesting.
So yeah, it was kind of an interesting first deal.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, I remember putting it under contract and then just not doing anything with the contract. And then like a month later, my mentor, Amy Brazil, was like, you haven't closed that yet? And I'm like, no, like, I was just dragging my feet. And so because I had like a 6-month contract or whatever, I was just kind of dragging my feet. Yeah. And I had the capital, so I just, bought it. And I actually had to self-close it, I think, because I couldn't find a title company in Hawaii that would really like I don't know, it was just hard to find one.
Really? I've never self-closed before.
Yeah, so like that used to be a big thing too, was like self-closing deals. And you run your own title, you get a title abstractor and you run your own title reports.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Crazy to think about. And obviously a lot has happened since then. Like, can you give the viewers the last like year or two since doing that first, those first couple of deals? Like what's going on? Like you said, the market's changed.
Yeah.
I'd like to get into that first, and then we'll talk about like what do you think's coming in the future as well.
Yeah. So man, when I first started, it was really easy to get deals. Like you could send mail and not call people back right away. Like you could just kind of run a terrible like business in a sense. Like you could be kind of lazy in the business and you'd still get deals. There just wasn't like one with like, there's so much education around land. I mean, I'll be going through, Facebook or something, and I'll see an ad for somebody teaching land, and I'm like, I have no idea who this person is.
Yeah.
And they're using all the buzzwords like zero money. Like it just, I watched this clip the other day from a guy who was talking about like going and getting a lot in like a subdivision in Florida, and then for like you could pick it up for like 16, 17, and then you could just flip it for like 25 same day. You make 7-8 grand. And I'm like, I don't like, it's not that simple. One, I mean, if you found a builder and you knew their buy box, then sure. But like the way that they packaged it was like,
Yeah. There's a lot of people wholesaling infill lots right now. And they're doing like 2-3K spreads. And like they're tracking down these sellers, and they're working on basically as hard as, my team works the sellers, but we're doing it for 20, 30, 40, 50, 100K rips instead of 2 or 3K. The only difference is they get paid within 3 weeks. It takes us, obviously a couple of months.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think like our marketing channels have changed a lot. I mean, mail's obviously gotten a lot more expensive. I don't even know what was the cost of a stamp in 2020. I think it was like 50 cents or something. 55 cents. And now we're at like what, 68, 70, 78? No, aren't we at 78? So,
is it that high?
78 cents. Yeah.
Oh
So it's gone up. It's gone up almost 50%. Like the cost to mail a letter. So the cost has gone up, and then people are getting so much more marketing. And also I think that you have people who are inexperienced tying up deals for too much money. Like, and this happens in the house world all the time. Like, and that's why house wholesalers kind of get a bad rap, is because they can't perform. And, like I talk to sellers, and I think part of the strategy really ought to be like nowadays is like, if they're getting a higher offer, you need to stay in contact with them, because most of the times I think that those sellers or those buyers are not going to be able to perform. There's just too many unknowns with land when you're buying it remote. Like you can't really operate on like a $5,000 margin, like from the get-go. Like, you can't. There's too many things. Like, you can do some due diligence from the computer, but at the end of the day, like there's stuff that you're not going to see until like a buyer goes out and does that work for you, kind of thing. So if you're double closing, and then I'll talk to them, and they're like, no, they're going to close in 30 days. And I'm like, I don't know what their strategy is, but they're buying at the top of they're buying at almost what I would have valued at market value. I think, people are comping high because they're like, I think the market's kind of slowed some, at least for, I wouldn't say it's like dropped, but in the markets that I work, I've seen it kind of stagnate. So it's like properties are sitting longer. The prices are kind of holding, but they're not like, the prices aren't coming down. But I see that, I just see a lot of just properties taking longer to sell. I think, and from anecdotally, people are saying, seller financing is how they're selling their properties right now. So that's kind of, when I first got in, it was like super easy to find deals. And then, people were taking like, it was kind of the glory days, and we didn't even realize that it was like the glory days, and things would shift a lot. I think we knew it, but I think like we didn't expect it to happen so fast. But COVID kind of, people working from home, that definitely accelerated things. So it's and I think that what works now is like, it's a lot harder. You have to really work hard. Like you can't just send mail and, send people to a voicemail and then call them back in a week. Like it just doesn't work. They're shopping numbers and that sort of thing. So
Everyone I'm talking to, they all say the same thing. Like, we're in this new phase where you have to have like professional, real businesses. Like, it's not really a side hustle anymore. It's like, this is what you do. You know, you have really good sales coaching and sales experience and tactics, whatever you want to call it. You have like a real follow-up process, like a real business. I feel like a lot of people just have it as like oh, let me just send out like 1,000 mailers and like I'll get some deals. But no, I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that just burns money.
Yeah, yeah, and it's hard because like you know, if like you really could do it part-time to begin with. I mean, like you just I don't know how I mean, if you're gonna do it part-time now, it's like you better be disciplined and like you're gonna have to, you know, like or have the money to really put money into marketing, you know, and mail and stuff like that. So yeah, when I first started, you asked about like marketing channels. Yeah, when I first started, it was all mail. Mostly a lot of people were doing neutral mail. Range offers weren't even really a thing. Like nobody talked about that. It was really neutrals and blinds. And then and man, we would just send out like AI filters scrubbing the land. Like that wasn't a thing. I mean, you would like get the lead and then find out it's landlocked. Like you know, and so yeah, we definitely have it a lot easier in some aspects. Like it's easy, the market's definitely more efficient, but at the same time, like it's harder to get deals because everybody has the same tools now. So so like the marketing is getting concentrated. So like people's marketing dollars are being concentrated on select sellers. And because of that, I like, even if there's not more land investors in the space, the people with ideal properties are just going to get more marketing now. So that's like, we've kind of got this compounding to where people are like, I get a call, you know, whereas it used to be like, you know, I get, you know, 1 or 2 mailers a month. People are like, I get a mailer a day. You know, I get 3-4 calls a week. So with that, I think that it's like timing makes a huge difference. Like timing, you know, that's kind of the variable that you can't account for other than like continuing to hit the list. But yeah.
It's just more competitive and everyone just keeps going to like, they increase their filters. Like you said, they go from like 5 years minimum ownership to 10 years minimum ownership. And people are doing that for mail because it matters so much. And I feel like everyone's just targeting, like they used to be targeting out of state owners, 10+ years ownership. And so these people are getting so much marketing that the people that have owned it for like 4 years, 3 or 4 years, like they're getting a lot less marketing. And that's the one thing we've seen is I've talked to so many people because we don't have any filters for our marketing. We just send it to pretty much everyone as long as they've owned it for, I think we're doing 3 years plus right now. And there's people, they're like, I've never gotten an offer on my property. I'm like, really? Yeah. And these are like hot markets. I mean, like maybe they're not like the top of the, you know, but they're like secondary, maybe middle of the pack type of markets. But it's just because people aren't hitting people with 3 years of ownership because most of those people aren't going to sell. People you talk to, they're like, like this is, you know, I've never gotten an offer. It's like, oh, really? So this is your first time?
Have you guys analyzed your like where your deals are coming from? Like, are you getting deals from the people that have owned it less than 6-7 years?
So we just switched our filters from 5 years, but yeah, a lot of them are like inherited. So for whatever reason, the way the filter works is they've inherited in the last 5 years. Those are the people that we're doing deals with. So most of the people that buy it within the last 5 years, like that's not the typical person we work with unless they inherited it. Usually it's people that own it for 10, 15, 20 years. Yeah. But that's a good question to see how many we actually gotten since we increased the filter.
Yeah, I went through and like it's a good meta-analysis to like look at your deals and look at the demographics and the, to try to reverse engineer like where those sellers are actually coming from. Yeah, like I mean, even doing that was like a big thing, 3-4 years ago, and now that's required. It's required that you have pretty specific filters. So yeah, I see, like, I don't know, it's definitely harder to get deals. But it's also like you got to make offers too. Like you got to be consistent in making offers. I'm kind of a burnt out old dog. Like when it comes to land space, like I get kind of burnt out real quick with people getting, being super short, because it's like, it's just frustrating. But yeah, it's been an interesting, I mean, it's definitely taught me a lot. And I think, one thing that I'm realizing too is like I always thought of myself just as like a land guy. And I think that really you need to think about yourself as a real estate investor. You might specialize in land, but like at the end of the day, like we come across so many opportunities outside of just land. And if we're not willing to like even look at them, then we're kind of shortchanging ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can think of people who are like, oh yeah, I got a house, or I got, rental property to sell, and you're like, oh no, I only deal in land. Yeah. And so I think that that's something that I've realized lately is like being open to other asset classes. And, being willing to, structure the deals. Like the challenge I see with wholesalers a lot, and really, I mean, if you're a land flipper, you're mostly wholesaling like to an end buyer. Like that's kind of the business model that most people are running. They're either buying it and flipping it, buying low, selling high, or they're double closing to an end buyer. Like, I mean, sure, if you're doing infill, you can like assign to do a true wholesale to a builder, but most of the time, we're selling to end users. And really you just have to, like, you only have two tools in your tool bag. Like you come into these calls and you can either give them a low price cash offer, or you can give them a double close offer. Like that's what most people are operating in, right? But there's so many different ways you can structure a deal to make it work. Like, and I think that one of the things that I've been learning is like, we got to be willing to figure out like why these people are even selling the property, and like how we can solve their problem. Right. And I think that a lot of times we're not solving problems. We're just kind of coming in with a low price offer, and sure, for like 1 out of 20, 1 out of 30 people, like that works. Right. And then another 1 out of 20 or 1 out of 30, a wholesale price or a double close price works. But there's, a lot of other people that would sell that, we just don't have the right tools to tackle that. And so that's what I've been thinking about a lot, is like, how do we approach these sellers and provide them a solution that actually serves them? For example, like whether that's buying on owner financing or buying on seller financing and having them, make some interest on the deal, buying on owner financing and sell on seller finance, like buying and selling on a wrap, and picking up the difference in interest, adding value. Like, I think that as the land business becomes more sophisticated, like it's just going to be harder and harder to find deals that are willing people that are willing to accept the low cash offer. Like, it's just not, I mean, we're seeing that. I mean, you know, just in 5 years, it's gone from, you could buy stuff for 20 to 40 cents on the dollar, to now it's like, good luck getting anything less than 50 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
You know, I think sellers are more sophisticated. They're, and partly they're sophisticated because we're educating them. Like, we're the ones that are telling them prices. And, yeah. And so, like, you know, you got to know your numbers, and you can't be afraid to, like, be honest with them and be like, I can't, you know, I'm not going to make money at that. So, like,
yeah. Have you tried any of these exit strategies, like doing value add on something like the numbers wouldn't work, but you're like, okay, like we could do something here? Or have you done, I mean,
yeah, value add's hard. If you're not, like, I mean, if you're not picking up at a deal, like, I think value add would be a tough one to predict. But kind of what I was thinking is, like, you know, if you could find a seller that's willing to sell at like 80 cents on the dollar, and you buy it on owner financing and do like a 90-day due diligence, you could almost do like a double close with a wrap. So you could do, you could buy it on seller financing, but you give yourself 90 days to close.
Okay.
And then you sell it on seller financing and you do a wrap. And so, you know, if you could pay the seller, you know, 3-4% interest on their, you know, say it's $100,000 property, they want 80, you pay them 3-4% interest on the 80, and then you're selling it for 100 or 95 at 12% interest. You're picking up that delta. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's something. And then your down payment, like, basically, if you could get the terms that you want, you know, you could kind of structure it like you could pick up the middle, which would be interesting. They do that in the house world, like,
yeah,
you know, so that's something that I've been thinking about. I haven't done it, but that's
okay,
interesting.
I gotcha. I know we spoke a couple of weeks back, and I noticed you're really good with like solving problems, like kind of like zooming out,
Yeah,
and like analyzing the current bottleneck and like kind of fixing that.
mm-hmm.
I think most people struggle with that. I think it's a very unique capability and strength. I think everyone's too zoomed in on like the day to day, zoomed in on like what they're getting too like into the weeds. I feel like you're really good at zooming out. Have you like helped other land investors like fix their businesses, or like any like consulting? Do you do any of that? 'Cause when we talked, it was a huge help. Like that, you know, 30
Well,
minutes.
I appreciate that. I haven't done that. I mean, I'd be willing to. It's something that I enjoy, actually. Like, I really enjoy it because it comes really easily. You know, I think like growing up, I was really taught to think big picture and like think of things in a, like, attack problems from like different angles, and just kind of keep spinning the ball and like keep looking at it from different angles until I can figure out how to fix it. But yeah, I mean, I think that's why like the creative stuff interests me, is because like I do think that there's win-win situations that can be had for people. But I think that when you're coming in with, you know, just like, if all you have in your toolbox is a low price offer or like a double close offer, and even your double close is still like a low, you know, it's still a low number. I mean, you're still got to be within, you know, on $100,000 property, you're still not going over 60, really.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's just a super hot market. So yeah, I think that there's, I think that like that's what interests me on that, for sure.
Yeah. And one thing we recently realized we could just start doing to increase our double close offer is, because there's so many deals where you're like 80% of market, but there's not enough profit to where it makes sense to double close it. Like, why don't we just get it up like a normal double close, but then just assign it?
Mm.
So it's like basically it's like 120-day assignments. You do the whole double close thing, but instead of taking 2 title fees and all of
Yeah.
that, you just assign it to the end buyer. And like the
Yeah.
realtor fee comes out of the assignment. It's like, okay, that saves us like $5,000 right there.
Yeah.
And that just, we've actually been playing around with like smaller deals, because before we wouldn't double close unless like minimum like 30K spread. Now, if there's 20K spread, we'll assign it. We'll make like 12K.
Yeah.
So I learned that from an infill guy. He's like, why don't you just assign the double close? Like, do you have to double close? I'm like,
Yeah.
I was like, you're right. Why don't I just do that? Like, that's so simple.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought about that because I'm not a wholesaler. Like, I usually I do this.
Yeah.
Go just try it. But what's one misconception that you think like beginners make? Like, is it they overanalyze markets? Like, what do you think?
I think that people make it more complicated than it is. And this doesn't just apply to land. I think this applies to any business. I think that I've been kind of studying Pace Morby for a little bit recently. Like that's who's kind of caught my interest, and like because he's obviously doing creative stuff with commercial and with residential and all that. And one of the terms that he uses is called an ask hole. Like basically you're asking questions that don't even apply. So like I think that we spend a lot of time solving problems that we don't even have.
Yeah.
So like I think that if you're spending all your time trying to figure out, you've got 12 doors and you haven't even walked in door number 1, but you're asking questions about door number 12. Like, for example, in the land space, it's like door number 1 is like picking up the phone, cold calling sellers, or sending mail, picking a market. But door number 12 is like major subdivides, or where am I gonna like who is what closing company am I going to use? And so they want to solve all these problems that they don't even have yet.
Yeah. Yeah. They care about the CRM deals. They're like, just get a deal.
Yeah. I need the right CRM, and I'm guilty of this for sure. Like I've done this a lot where I've spent so much time trying to solve for problems that I don't even have, like setting up legal structures that I don't even need, or, and I think that there's so much of that in our world. Like and it's really like we're doing things to distract ourselves from actually doing the work. Like,
because it's boring and people don't like boring.
Yeah. People don't like boring. And so it's like, we want to reorganize our CRM, or we want to, analyze deals, like sit there and analyze a deal, but like, we don't even really know that the seller's like a serious seller.
Yeah. Just like underwriting deals and you haven't even talked to the seller. Yeah.
You get this guy, he leaves you a voicemail like, you call me about this property, call me back. And you're like, okay. And so then next thing you know, you're like spending a half an hour looking at his deal and looking at every which way. And then you call the guy back and he's like, oh no, I don't want to sell it. It's like, so you just wasted a half an hour. I think that's probably the biggest like hang up, is just doing things that you don't actually need to be doing. And I mean, I need to remind myself this all the time, because like
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone that's like just overcomplicates everything? Like, what should they like actionably item? Like, what actually matters in our business?
Yeah. There's only really like a couple money making activities in our business. The number one is going to be talking to sellers. Like if we're not talking to sellers, 70-80% of your day, then you're spending time on the wrong things. Like, and I need this advice probably more than anybody, but like, it's so easy to get down in the weeds with spreadsheets and analyzing deals or whatever, it's like we do everything we can to avoid talking to sellers. I don't know, like you'd mentioned, that you dislike sales, right? Like, or that like it's something that frustrates you at times, right?
Well,
And I
yeah,
think,
everybody's like, I mean, I like sales, but I hate sales. Like at the same
yeah,
time, like you get good at something, like you like closing, but it's like, man, like I don't want to make calls, but you just do it anyway.
yeah. And I think like the fear of rejection, especially like you get some people that are just kind of nasty on the phone, like they're just super short. And it's easy to talk yourself out of like making those dials.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, your question was, piece of advice for like,
Like what matters in our business.
yeah, what matters.
Like,
Yeah, talking to sellers is probably the number one thing. What's helped me in the past is really just like the day before, just simplifying down like the top 3 things you need to get done. Because I'm kind of like ADD when it comes to like tasks. I'm jumping around all the time. Like things come in, things distract me, and it's easy, especially when you're doing something like sales, to get distracted because like you get a phone call in, you start talking to this person, then you go off on a rabbit trail of like looking at property or whatever. And then you're like, oh crap, I need to get back to making phone calls. Right. And so batching your tasks, just consolidating it down to like the top 3 things that you need to get done, I would say is really helpful. Then also making a list of the things you do to avoid work. Like just that activity of like writing down like, what do I do to avoid work? Whether that's like education, like a lot of it is education, right? So it's like tricks our brain into thinking that it's like a productive use of our time. But that's another way of asking questions that we don't need the answers to.
Yeah.
Right. Like I'm going to go watch a YouTube video, and it's not like we're like watching music videos or something, that's a total waste of time. But like, you might be watching something that's applicable to your business. And so, or sales training or whatever. It's like you're doing the things to avoid working.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's difficult. That's part of the difficulty of being self-employed, especially working from home. It's like, it's so easy to just, like, where'd the day go? Man, I only talked to like 2 people. Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Really, like, we're really employees of our businesses to a lot of, like, you have to think about yourself as an employee. Like, if you wouldn't let your employee do this, like, why are you letting yourself do it?
Exactly. I actually just started thinking more like that. This last week, I was like, I didn't want to put our end of day report just like my closer does. I'm like, hey, like I gotta act like I'm the employee. I can't take shortcuts. Like I gotta treat it just like I want my employee to, because it sets the standard for the rest of our team. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think as far as overcomplicating the business, we have simplified it as much as make X offers, X deals. You want to do more deals, scale offers. So people are complaining they're not getting deals. They're making 5 offers a week.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get a deal unless you're really good or you're just doing mail. And like, it's all in. For us, it's like minimum 20 offers a week. We're trying to get to 30 offers a week. And eventually it's going to be 40 offers a week. Yeah. So like just
what do you consider an offer, like a verbal over the phone offer?
So we have the full process. So it's text comes in, they say yes or some kind of positive response, gets pushed to our setter. The setter then books an appointment and pulls an asking price. We'll disqualify a few sellers if they're asking for like $1 million or like 500,000. It's worth like 50 grand. But besides outrageous asking prices, even if they want like double market value, we make the offer. So from there, they'll book the appointment. And then we have like a full offer call, which I'm currently making. And so it's like those calls. So even in the notes, if it says they want 70 in their firm, and my comper says it's worth like 16 or 20,000 or whatever the number is, like we'll still make the offer, and that counts as like one of the 20 offers for the week.
Yeah. Do you go through the full call, or are you just like on those scenarios, or you just
Yeah,
are
it
you pretty
depends.
are you shortening it?
Most of the times, it's like a minimum. It's gonna be like a 5-minute call, like minimum.
Yeah.
Like just going through like the framework of the call, but it's not like I'm just like, hey, we can pay this. You want it?
Yeah.
Like I'm never like that. Like we always follow the same framework. If I
Yeah.
can tell right off the bat they're dead set on that number and we're
Yeah.
nowhere near it, then I'll kind of get to it. Like I'll get to the point. I'll make the offer
Yeah.
within 5 minutes versus waiting, 10 to 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, we've just seen like it doesn't matter. The more offers you make, the more money you'll make. And so
Yeah.
we're trying to pull every lever around that KPI is how many offers can we make a week and
Mhm.
just scale that.
Yeah.
And we're seeing good results with that. And then
That's awesome.
as long as we just continue to make more offers according to our data, we should be making more deals.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's easy too to like do a first call with somebody and then you get in your head about, oh, they want too much or whatever. And then next thing you know, it's like 2 months have passed and you haven't given them an offer or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
I love having our lead managers or setters, whatever you want to call them, because I don't speak to them until my offer call. So like it's
yeah,
just one call close for me.
yeah,
It helps because I have notes, I have like information going into the call. And these setters are making, 120 dials a day, 150
mhm,
dials a day. And I think it's one of the highest like return on, investments. It's getting a couple really high quality setters,
yeah.
for $8 to $10 an hour.
Where are your setters out of?
One's from the Philippines and one's from Mexico.
Okay,
We just hired one last week. He's crushing so far.
cool.
So it's as far as like obviously we wish we had a closer right now, but I think we're in a good spot to
Yeah.
just to scale. Right
How
now,
many deals are you guys gonna end the year with?
that's a great question. Let me pull it up. I have no idea. Let's see here. We're trying to get as many contracts as we can right now because it's coming to an
Yeah.
end. So to close on properties, we are. Let me see where this year starts. We've closed. Oh wait a minute. One second. I'm trying to do the math. Deals that I've been a part of, 17. $31.
Solid.
Those are ones that have like we've been paid on. Obviously,
Yeah.
um we have let's see here. What's that? Oh, can I get some? Anyway, I don't I don't know why my spreadsheet's acting weird. We have 31. I just said, is that what I said? 31 we closed
Yeah.
on. We have heck, spreadsheet's so weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 under contract to sell. We actually just assigned 2 properties. We have 3 double closes listed right now. We have 16 in inventory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we have 11 under contract to buy.
Sweet, man.
So
Exciting.
obviously, some of the double closes aren't all going to close. Maybe
Yeah.
one of these falls through or like a perk test fails, right? That
Yeah.
stuff always comes out of nowhere and it sucks. But we
Yeah.
kind of bake that in like conservatively, 65%
Yeah.
through. Usually it's probably gonna be 70.
Yeah. I've had a handful of contracts fall out this year. It's been rough. But did I lose you?
all double closes, but we've seen like, let's just be conservative. So that's kind of what we're seeing. But no, we have a restart here.
I can sort of.
Shoot. For some reason, my charger wasn't working. It's at 1%. It's like glitching right now.
Oh no.
Got a backup charger. I know my computer's so annoying. What the heck? I have a Mac and it says battery is not charging. I don't understand why.
Oh no.
But shoot, it's all right. I can edit this last part out.
No worries.
So for those that are want to connect with you, where can they find you? How can they reach you?
I'm on Instagram. Well, I'm not really on Instagram that much. Honestly, I'll give you my email. It's info@otisland.com, and they can just shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to connect with them. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, Patrick, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, great rest of your day, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got for us.
Let me know if you need anything. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. I'll see you.
Bye.